Keller floated alone in the endless dark. His escape pod drifted through the empty void, far away from any star, any planet, or any hope. The pod's weak lights flickered again and again, as if they also struggled to stay alive. The small oxygen meter blinked red. Only a few hours left. He tried to stay calm, but silence wrapped around him like a cold hand. No voices, no signals. No sound. Only the slow beeping of dying systems. Keller had never felt so alone. His fleet had left in a hurry during the battle. He remembered shouting for help, but no one answered. No ship turned back. No friend searched for him. They all believed he was dead. Keller pressed the communication button again. "This is Officer Keller. Anyone? Please respond." Static. Nothing else. His hands shook. Maybe this was his end, dying alone in the black sea of space. Then something strange happened. A shadow moved outside the pod window. Keller froze. At first he thought it was just his mind playing tricks. But then the scanners lit up just for a moment. A signal appeared. Strong, huge, getting closer. Keller stared at the blinking screen. Unknown vessel approaching. His heart beat faster. He wiped the fog from the cracked glass and looked out. The darkness suddenly glowed with a faint blue light. It grew brighter, brighter, until a massive shape emerged from hyperspace, like a metal giant waking from sleep. A warship, but not alien. Human. KELAR, single quotes as breath caught in his throat. Humans were known for their power, their bravery, and their anger. No one expected mercy from them. The silence of space finally broke as the enormous human warship drifted toward his tiny pod. Keller whispered, "Are they here to save me? Or destroy me?" The human warship moved closer, blocking the stars behind it. Its giant metal hull looked like a dark mountain floating in space. Lights ran across its surface like glowing scars. Keller felt smaller than he had ever felt before. His escape pod was nothing, a broken seed drifting next to a storm. A soft vibration shook his pod. They were scanning him. Bright blue light washed over the damaged exterior. Keller held his breath as the beam passed slowly across every surface, as if the humans were studying his last heartbeat. His pod speakers crackled suddenly, making him jump. A voice came through. Deep, calm, human, unidentified survivor. "We are detecting life inside your pod. Respond if you can hear this." Keller stared at the radio. He felt frozen. Every story he had heard about humans flashed in his mind, humans fighting until the last soldier. Humans never surrendering, humans tearing through enemy fleets with fire and steel. He had never spoken to one. No alien he knew had. His claws hovered over the reply button. If he answered, they might kill him. If he stayed silent, they might ignore him and leave him to die. Another message came, this time sharper. "Escape pod occupant. Respond. You are drifting toward our ship." Keller's throat tightened. The pod rattled again as small human drones approached. Their robotic arms reached toward his vessel. They were going to pull him in. If he didn't speak now, it might be too late. He closed his eyes, took a shaking breath, and pressed the button. This is Officer Keller," he whispered. "I am alive." There was a moment of silence. Then, a new voice replied. This one colder, more commanding. "Officer Keller, stand by. Commander Rourke will speak with you." Keller's fear grew. Who was Commander Rourke? And what did he want with an abandoned alien officer? Keller waited in the dark cabin of his escape pod, his claws gripping the armrests. The human drones locked onto his pod and began pulling it toward the giant warship. Each second felt like a slow countdown to his fate. Inside his helmet, speakers, a soft click echoed, then a new voice appeared. "Officer Keller," the voice said. "This is Commander Rourke of the human warship, Valor's Edge." The voice was steady, strong, controlled. Controlled. Keller swallowed hard. He had imagined humans sounding angry or wild, but this voice was calm in a way that frightened him even more. It sounded like someone who had seen many battles and survived all of them. "We detected your distress signal," Rourke continued. "Before we pull your pod inside, we need one answer." Keller stared at the cracked screen. waiting. Who left you to die out here? The question hit him like a shock. For a moment, Keller couldn't speak. Why would a human care about that? Why ask something so personal? My fleet. They retreated, Keller finally said. They thought I was dead. Is that what you believe? Rourke asked quietly. It did not sound like a casual question. It sounded like a test. Keller hesitated. His memories burned in his mind, an explosion. Smoke. His ship breaking apart. His desperate call for rescue. And the cold silence afterward. I don't know, he admitted. The human commander didn't respond right away. Keller could hear distant machinery humming through the radio, as if Rourke was thinking carefully. Finally, Rourke spoke again. Your pod will be brought aboard shortly. Do not resist. Do not panic. You will not be harmed. Keller didn't know if he should trust him, but he had no choice. Moments later, the escape pod slid into the shadow of the human warship's hangar. The doors closed behind him, cutting off the stars and cutting off any chance to escape. The escape pod thumped softly as it touched the hangar floor. For a moment, Keller could not move. The pod was now inside the human warships, surrounded by metal walls, powerful engines, and soldiers he had feared his whole life. A loud hiss filled the air as human engineers unlocked the pod's hatch. Bright white light poured inside, forcing Keller to blink. Heavy footsteps approached, slow, steady, and disciplined, not like raiders or pirates. These were trained soldiers. When the hatch opened, Keller finally saw them. 4 human marines in dark armor stood in front of him. Their helmets were sleek, their weapons ready but pointed down. They were not acting aggressive, but they didn't look friendly either. One of them stepped forward. Stay calm, the marine said. We will not harm you. Step out slowly. Keller's legs felt weak as he crawled out. The hangar was massive, bigger than any ship bay he had ever seen. Fighters were parked in neat rows. Robotic arms moved crates with precise motions. Engineers monitored glowing screens. Everything was powerful, sharp, and organized. Humans really were different. As Keller took shaky steps forward, more Marines appeared, forming a loose circle around him close enough to control him, far enough to show they weren't attacking. Then a new figure entered the hangar. Commander Rourke. He removed his helmet, revealing a stern face with sharp eyes. He looked older, strong, and experienced. The kind of leader who didn't fear anything, not even death. Rourke studied Keller for a long moment, not with hatred, not with pity, but with curiosity. Welcome aboard Valor's Edge, Officer Keller, he said. You are safe here. For now. Rourke turned and motioned for Keller to follow Dot as they walked deeper into the ship. Keller felt something strange, a sense that the humans were hiding something important, something connected to him, something he was not prepared to learn. Commander Rourke led Keller through long metal corridors. Every footstep echoed softly, mixing with the deep hum of powerful engines. Human crew members stopped to stare as Keller passed. Some looked surprised. Some looked confused. But none looked afraid. Humans were not afraid of him at all. Finally, Rourke stopped in a small briefing room. He pressed a button, and the door slid shut behind them. A large hologram appeared in the center of the room, showing star maps, ship movements, and battle data. Keller, Rourke said, crossing his arms, you were not abandoned by accident. Keller's heart tightened. What do you mean? Rourke tapped a control pad. The hologram zoomed in, showing recordings of Keller's fleet retreating. There, clear as daylight, was the moment Keller's distress signal went out. He watched his own fleet turn away, not slowing down, not checking scans, not even trying. They left me, Keller whispered. They truly left me. That is not the worst part, Rourke said quietly. He changed the display again. This time, Keller saw something shocking, an encrypted message sent within his fleet. The translation appeared on the screen. Confirm Officer Keller, deceased. Do not retrieve. He is compromised. Keller shook his head slowly. That cannot be true. Why would they say I'm compromised? Rourke looked him straight in the eyes. That is what we want to know. He stepped closer, his voice firm and serious. Keller, Your fleet left you because they believed you were a problem, a threat, or a secret they wanted to erase. The alien officer felt his chest tighten. He didn't know if it was pain or fear. Rourke continued, "We were not here by chance. We intercepted your fleet's hidden message. We came because we knew something wasn't right." Keller stared at the hologram. Trembling. His own people called him compromised. His own fleet abandoned him. "Commander," he whispered, "what do you want from me?" Rourke answered with calm certainty, "The truth." Keller sat quietly as Commander Rourke studied him. The room felt heavy, as if the walls themselves were waiting for his answer. He wanted to speak, but his voice refused to come. Everything he knew, his duty, his loyalty, his pride had collapsed in front of him. Rourke finally broke the silence. "Keller, your fleet is nearby. They are preparing something. We need to know what you know." Keller closed his eyes. He remembered the battle, the explosion, the sudden retreat, the feeling of being left behind, and now, the message calling him compromised. The truth pierced him like a blade. "They hid something from me," Keller whispered. "Something about a secret project. A weapon test. I saw part of it, but I wasn't supposed to. Maybe that's why they left me."